Well, welcome to another episode of the Invasion of PRVCY Podcast, where we have real candid conversations with mompreneurs that I admire and that I think need to be exposed on another level. So today we have Tiara Hoyt.
Hi.
Here.
Oh, okay. Where I'm at. I'm right. Oh, hi. I'm sorry. I'm nervous, y'all.
Listen, I'm nervous too.
Okay,
like,
okay.
you know, like we get into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, like I really just wanted to sit down and have some conversations with some people that I feel like I admire. I feel like are doing big things that a lot of people don't know about, and that have gone through the balancing of parenting and entrepreneurship. And it's a lot of women out here that want to dive. They want to take their deep dive into entrepreneurship, and either they feel like the children or school or work, marriage, it's a lot of things that's getting in the way, and they can't. And so you are juggling parenting, building big businesses, marriage, a lot of things at one time. And so what do you do, Tiara? What do you do?
So me and my wife have a trucking company. We have 4 trucks right now, 4 drivers. She drives one, I don't drive. I just take care of the business part of it. Like I, make sure, like if the truck breaks down or something, I'm going to go get parts and paying the drivers weekly, dealing with all of that, like far as the taxes, like just the business part of it. I don't do the driving, but my wife drives. And that's pretty much it. We haul fuel.
Oh, really?
Yes, we haul fuel.
Oh, that's money.
Yeah. Yeah, more money, more problems.
Yeah, because I guess the insurance would be higher on.
And it's with having multiple trucks, you have to make sure that you have money saved for each truck, because the expenses is totally different.
Okay.
Like
what got you into trucking?
Well, my wife.
Okay.
This was her dream, and I just pretty much, stood beside her, followed, and I just liked it. And she fronted me when I had opened up a clothing store, so it just was like time. And I just think that it was more. Yeah, the money is good and it's consistent, and it's her dream, and I love it, and I'm going to do anything for it. So yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
So all right. So let's go back to the clothes thing. So you saying like she fronted you the money for a clothing store, and then
so
in turn you wanted to kind of reciprocate it.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Great words, right? Yes. So it was like 2019, March of 2019, I had wanted like a clothing store. I was doing like boutique type clothes and all that. Had a grand opening and all that. So she pretty much like made sure I had everything that I need, like gave me the money to set up everything. Like she pushed the dream. But my grandmother had passed, and it shifted me, like, so I just stopped. And then that's when she was always saying like how she wanted to have a trucking company. But her initial plan was to have ex-cons, like people that couldn't get jobs and do stuff like that. So that was the initial plan. But we do
for the trucking company.
Yeah, for the trucking company. But sometimes sometimes plans, whatever. But yeah, so we just that's how it happened.
So what about? All right, so let's dig into the clothes.
Oh, okay.
I do want to dig into that because like when I first met you, it had to be about like a little over 10 years ago.
Yes, yeah.
And always fly, always dressed to a T, like, and very creative in your appearance. Like it's not like, I feel like nowadays when people say they can dress, they just pick stuff that doesn't really go together.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I got on a new outfit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I felt like when I seen you, it was colors were always like a thing for me.
And now I hate the colors. Well, I got on color now, but I hate like the whole, I think, transitioning into like, I like calm and like just, pieces
but that's
that are
in there too, especially with like, I think Kanye kind of made it everybody monochromatic and still being able to show your personality through not having to use bold colors just as much.
Right.
But okay, so let's get back to your grandmother. Like, how do you feel like that influenced your creativity in wanting to do clothes and wanting to open a boutique and things like that?
Because I didn't want my grandmother working, so that was just like, and she was an entrepreneur. She had assisted livings, homes, and everything. So it's just, I didn't want her doing anything. And that's just something that I always loved. I felt like I always like to help the girls, like put their clothes on and like get dressed. And I always felt like that look good in your body. So, and I don't know. But then the last day that I was in the store, I left to go see her at the hospital, and then that's when she died. So it kind of went like, and I was like, I'm gonna go back, and then I don't know.
And you just closed after that.
But trauma is real. Like that was a different type of feeling. Like, yeah.
So let's talk about the relationship with your grandmother. Like,
she raised me.
Okay.
Yes, she raised me.
Okay.
Yes, and
how was growing up with her grandmother? Because I grew up with my mom and a stepdad, and so I didn't understand the dynamics of people growing up with their grandparents because it just wasn't normal for me or any of my friends.
Right.
All of my friends grew up in two-parent households, whether it be their dad or stepdad, but it still was different. So I'm being dead serious, like I'm very candid. It wasn't until I met my youngest daughter's father, and he was raised by his grandmother. Okay. And so I never really understood why people would live with their grandmother. You know what I mean? And it's very common, especially in our community, but it wasn't common to me. So how'd you like end up with your grandmother?
Because my mother was in the streets, you know, literally in the streets, you know, doing whatever she was doing. And my grandmother just had me. She had me ever since I was like, probably like one. Maybe, because my mother had me young. She had me at 17, and I don't think that she was like ready. So my grandmother she was still living with my grandma, so she had always did. And then she jumped into the streets, and my grandmother just had me the whole time. With her, it was just like, she worked a lot because she was building her businesses. So
you got to see entrepreneurship.
Yes, like she was definitely, and she was real aggressive and dominant too. So I feel like I wish I could have grown up in a two-family, you know, just to see things different. That's why I take with my kids, do things that I've always wanted, like sitting at the table together, eating dinner, asking me questions, and not just give me, because when it came to her making sure I had everything, that was over the top. You get what I'm saying? But you know, like I think I knew I was on my menstrual with one of my homegirls, my old homegirls, because I was like, something is wrong with me. I'm bleeding, and I was like,
so it's like a lot of things that you probably that you missed out on.
A lot.
But to me, it's an age gap. So it's a big age difference when a grandmother is raising a little girl. So it's like, did y'all have conversations about like menstruation or developing as a woman or becoming? Like, how do you feel like?
I don't even know. Like, I don't really think I knew what was I supposed to say. Grandma came on. I think I did say it, and she said you need a pad, but it just wasn't like how I imagine it in my head. Now that I'm a mother, even though I have two sons, but like if I had a daughter, it's just like, you know, they come talk to me like something is happening. We have a Woman's Day. I talk to them about it. Like just, you know, we hold hands. I take her out all day. Just stuff that I just feel like I just wish I had.
You wanted that you, or maybe a lot of times the stuff that we didn't have is stuff that we want to include in our relationships with our children. Yeah, like even what you're saying, like eating dinner with your boys is important, or having family dinners is important.
Absolutely.
Having open dialogue conversations and stuff like that. And how do you feel like that came from everything that you missed with your
absolutely.
Your parents?
I reversed it. So everything that I didn't have, I reversed it. Definitely, like you talk to me, you get what I'm saying? I don't care what it is, you can tell me anything. Talk to me, don't lie. And we're gonna sit here and we're gonna communicate with each other, and we're gonna love each other. Not overly I knew my grandmother loved me, I know my mother loved me, but they wasn't like, I love you, and I'm real mushy with my kids.
Okay.
And it's kind of different with boys because it's like, Ma, you get what I'm saying? So it's just like, but yeah, I love you. You okay? I love you. Good morning. How you feel today? All the time, like overly all the time. I felt like me when I was my oldest son, the one that's 18, he'll be 19 in June. I'm a different mother now because I was 19 when I had him. So I feel like now I'm a totally different mother with my 10-year-old. So I feel like with him, I feel like I probably could have been a little better because it was more like bye. But with T-Shawn, the youngest one, I'm more active, and you get what I'm saying. But
you show up differently.
Yeah, show up.
But
totally
you also
different.
learn more. Like you learn more, and not even just because how old were you when you had your oldest son?
Well, I got pregnant at 18, had him at 19.
Yeah. So being a teenager having a child, and then being an adult woman having a child is like totally different. I'm noticing that too, even with me and my children. So my oldest is I was 16 when I had her, and then my youngest I was 38.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? So it's a huge gap, and so I parent them a lot differently than I parented at 16. And so I tell a lot of people, like I I was a mother before I became a woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I never was able to grow into my womanhood without children, without the responsibilities, without the extra addedness or anything like that. And so how do you feel like you parenting your oldest, like, and parenting your youngest, like, how do you feel like, do you feel like you've gotten better at becoming a mother, or like, how do you feel like?
I feel like I've gotten extremely better with becoming a mother, because with my oldest son, it was like, we're going to hit the mall, we're going to do this. And I don't remember, well, I always ask him, are you okay? Yeah. But now it's just like, with the youngest son, it's like, is your schoolwork done? You can't do that in school. And I'm at the school young. I wasn't worried about being at the school and knowing the teacher's name. And now it's like, I know his teacher name. I know the principal name. The teacher emails me. What is he doing? You get what I'm saying? It's just like totally different.
Being a little more present.
Yeah, and then I feel like now that I've gained the stability that I've always wanted too, I think that becomes a little messy in parenting. Like, when you in bad situations, the wrong company, it's just not good. Yeah, it's just not good. Yeah.
So how'd you and your wife get together? Like,
So somebody that
we invading your privacy now.
I see it. You already be like,
we slowly invading your privacy.
So somebody that I was dealing with prior to another young lady that I was dealing with, right? She was like doing the most to me, like doing the most. So she had took my car. She took my car to this young lady house or whatever. So my wife now, they used to be cool, but I didn't know that they wasn't speaking. So I called her, like, I made up something like, I don't have a car to get to work, and such and such mess with such and such. And she was like, I don't deal with the person that I was messing with anymore. Right. I don't want to say names, you know what I'm saying? That's so cool. She was like, so she said, I don't deal with her no more, but I'll give you my password. So I went on her Instagram, and I looked. This is why I don't like people in my business. Let me tell you. I went on Instagram, and her daughter was in front of her door. So one of my friends, she knew the area, so I rode in the area, and we seen like
looking for your car.
You looking for my car, okay. And I seen a maintenance man. I did a whole performance. Oh my God, please, my son, I can't find him. He was last seen right here. He said, oh, I know where them apartments is, went down, all this from Instagram, because she took a picture in front of her door.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I found my car, and then that's when I got my car, and then that's when I called my wife back, Joanna, and I was like, I got my car, thank you so much, but I'm just going to F you now. That's exactly what I was being vindictive. But then the first day we stayed on the phone for like all day. And then it just was like, it was different. Like, I feel like I was immature with like how I approach things. I was used to like not dramatic trauma.
Like toxic relationships.
Yeah, toxic. Yeah, we would communicate like we belittling each other. So my first argument with my wife, it was just like, you don't talk to somebody like that when you love them. That's not what you do. So she was like teaching me, like she was like, and it just was different. It was kind of hard to shift because that's what I was used to, being that raw. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? But it was like a balance and a calm. And then we've been together ever since. And she's an Aries too.
Okay.
So we like
y'all bossy.
Yeah, we definitely bossy. And then she understands me with certain things that I need. So it's just like perfect. Like, yeah.
Okay.
She's awesome. Like, overly awesome. And I used to do things like sabotage it because I didn't think I deserved it because I was so used to toxic, and I thought that was the norm. Mm-hmm. But
like fun.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes it's a little bit thrilling and exciting, but I think that does come from like a lot of trauma when we're younger. Whereas though, I know for me, sometimes you might do things to provoke somebody because you want to be told that you love them, or you like the making up part of it, or you like the, you know what I mean? And not even just to make up sex, but just the attention that somebody gives you after while you making up and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that was the lowest part of my life because I was getting mentally abused, and I just feel like
in the relationship you were in prior to your wife.
Yeah, right. She was like mentally abusing me, making me feel this big when I don't want to curse on, you know. I know I'm the issue, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like when you, and this would be like, this little girl, like what? Come on, Tiara. Then, but once I had my son, T-Sean, it was like something that came out me like, and then and then it was like a no for me, and it just, I don't know, like, and I feel like I would, because I used to go out and party all the time, well, you know that, so I felt like I was drunk the whole time, not literally drunk,
like in the relationship.
Yeah, I feel like, because I always was partying, so I didn't have like a right mind. Yeah. I feel like a sober mind and a mind that's like
intoxicated, drunk with drugs. Yeah.
It's like different. I really tell everybody, like, I think I was drunk.
Yeah. No, I think so. Or it's like we be kind of like a spell almost. Like you under a spell. Whereas though you continuously, you're doing things to self-sabotage the relationship and hurt yourself. But it's still like you still want that person to
for nothing.
Yeah, and the person isn't benefiting you.
At
and so
all.
even now with my children, I'm telling them like, I think for me, I was doing a lot of stuff that was kind of like temporary, as opposed to looking towards the future and planning for the future and the type of person that I want to be with, the type of person I want to be. And so I think with my children, that's what I'm more geared towards now. So I do have a question like, how did you get from being like having multiple children, obviously with men, and then transition to
my first
being
son,
with a woman?
That was a mess. You about to be like, what? So let me tell you what I did. Lord, if the world see this and they see this, so listen.
The world is going to see
listen,
this.
with my first son, I played games. He had 3 fathers.
What?
I played games and I feel so bad now. But so when I got pregnant, I was dealing with this guy. He got killed. And I told his family that he was the father. To be honest, I don't think I knew who the father was. That's how, when I say life used to be real.
Yeah.
So then it was 2 other people who then ended up finding out who the father was.
Right.
So yeah, with that one, that was a little chaotic. But with T-Sean, my baby son, I had him with the prior relationship that I was with, and it was her brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so we used his sperm, so that's how that
was.
was.
Okay. So it is your wife's son. Like that is your wife. You saying?
No, my previous relationship before my wife.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So we used her brother, and that's how we used his sperm. But with Fat,
so you was in a relationship with a woman.
Yeah.
And then you had
a baby.
Okay.
Yeah, for the 10-year-old. But my
okay.
oldest son, I played big games. Like I don't even know. Like I had 3 baby showers.
Are you
and it's
serious?
it's not even funny now. Let me tell you. One time we went to the doctors, and I went to the nurse, and I was like, "Don't call his name. Just call my name," because I lied about the name and everything.
Wow.
I could write a book. You'll be like, "What the?"
Are you serious?
And one of my friends, her name, Trina, I can say Trina. She was like, "That's not such and such baby." I said, "Yes, it is." She was like, "I'm telling you," and who she thought it was,
it was him. He looked like him. Oh my God. Listen, I'm telling you, I've gone through situations with the whole baby father thing, but it like
I was like wretched. And it was like, yeah, fucking freak. Like, yeah, but I was young, I ain't care. And people get hurt behind that.
But even now, I feel like the way that you even pose in the story, it's like you have a conscience now. So
yeah,
it's not like,
I think that was so wrong. But back then, it just was like, it was what it was. Like,
yeah.
Oh, well. And then when they find out, I don't even think I cared. But now I do. Like, I really didn't. I just was like, I feel bad for my son, though.
I was going to ask, how did you feel about it?
I feel bad for him because I feel like that was selfish to him. Like, I shouldn't have did that. But he has a good relationship with his father now.
Okay.
But the guy who is his father, he knew too. And I feel like he prayed for that baby to be his. I swear, it's just like, that's what I feel. Could be wrong, but
that's cool.
So they good and everything is good, but I just feel like if I would have did that a little earlier.
And then I think sometimes we gotta realize like how young we were, how inexperienced we are about life, and then not even having parents to really shape and mold relationships in a proper way. Because I think the same way, like we end up like repeating the same thing that our parents did, even if it's inadvertently, like even if it's unconsciously, because I feel like I know my mother wasn't really like, I was a smart child, right? And so I got all A's and B's and stuff like that. So she didn't really have to look behind me when it came to like schoolwork. And I tend to do the same thing with my children. So, but what happens is when they do start to fall by the wayside or when they doing stuff, you don't really know. You don't pay it no attention because it's like, well, they was doing so good. And I'm perpetuating the same thing that my mother did, even though it's but we do it in so many different ways. Whereas though they lack in showing us how to develop authentic relationships with people, or to be caring, considerate of other people, or even understanding like what that could potentially do to somebody in the future. You know what I mean? And not just the child, but the other person's family. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it just was.
Yeah. Do you feel like you had any qualities that do you feel like this might have been something that your mom possibly would have did, like being in the streets and things like that? Do you feel like you kind of put on like this game when you was young?
I just feel like I ain't had no guidance. I mean, my grandmother, he's a kid, but it was just like, I just was out here. And it was fun. And I feel like what I wish I could change the company that I kept too. I feel like if I would have had people who are around me now well, of course they couldn't have been around me now, but people that had different, like mature people, because why ain't nobody tell me what I was doing was wrong?
Right.
So y'all thought that this was funny too?
Right.
And you get what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to hear that, like, you know, I don't like friends around me that agree with everything that I say. Like, you're wrong, you're not wrong. So I just feel like, I don't know, but I really feel bad about it. More so for my son and then the families, but it's just like, I don't know, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's good. It's good. I mean, it's good to be remorseful though, you know what I mean?
And that's for real, like I really am sorry, but I really didn't care. Like, and not, like my son had it all, honey, so it was just, I mean, that's not funny, but it was just like.
Oh, like you had 3 families by
Yeah, like it was
providing.
Really,
wow. Okay.
it was bad.
Yeah.
And one of the guys found out, he was like, I'm about to come get my son. And he swabbed him. Yeah. So when he came back, and he was like, this baby ain't mine, son. I was like, well, what made you do that? You know, I flip it. I said, you gonna believe a test over me? That's not crazy.
Wow.
I swear, this is real. Like, and that's who I wanted to be my son for.
Okay.
Real bad.
Because of the relationship with
relationship and how his family.
Okay.
It was like a great, like he needed to be there.
That's good.
So that's why
something
I was
that you didn't grow up
with. Because that's
with.
who my son. Yeah, that's who name my son has.
Okay.
Because I was for real, like, and then he found out from men talking in jail. What people don't think, men talk a lot.
Oh.
So yeah, so that's
a
how
lot.
that's how I got caught up.
Okay.
It was so bad, but I just, if I could have reversed that, it would have been, you know, if you could plan your life out, it definitely would have been that, because they a good family, like a real good family. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
But I was hurt, like, oh my God, like I wanted to hang myself, like I cannot believe this, man. But he wasn't with it.
How do you feel about entrepreneur, like teaching your children entrepreneurship? Like, do you feel like with your children, like, oh, I want y'all to become entrepreneurs, or do you guide them in a way like, oh, I want you to go to college, I want you to do this, I want you to be a student, I want you to get a job?
Well, with me, you have to graduate high school, and I feel like whatever you feel like, you know, you want to do, I'm going to support it. So with my oldest son, I feel like he's lazy and he just feels entitled. So my wife and I offered him, like, we was going to get a pickup truck and, like, buy all the supplies and stuff, and then he go wash the trucks to make him money, since you don't want to do nothing, so just start your own business. He didn't want to do that. But my 10-year-old, he different. He in the house, like, I got 10 boxes of chips, and I'm gonna see what my profit gonna be, so I can see if I need to sell. He's definitely different, but we already have our children
10?
At 10.
Okay.
Right, yes, but we already have them on the business as they work. Like, we pay them, so they already got IRAs and stuff set up.
Okay.
So just to, like, give them a push, so they already a part of the business. And my 10-year-old, he wants to do it. And I told him, whatever level we at, I know you're gonna take it to the next level. So yeah, he's different. Like, he is the one, and I'm just so grateful. That's what I'm saying. I feel like, because your parenting is a little bit better, but he is, that's not my prophet. He's all about, like, his money and and tight. But he gonna be a good man, a good one.
That's
yeah.
good. That's
my
good.
oldest son, Lord, please pray for him, y'all. Please. But he gonna get it together.
That's good.
Yeah, he gonna get it together, and I don't know.
And they still have, like, I feel like the difference is too, like, him being brought up in a 2-parent household, even if it is 2 women, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of people, they don't understand the help that you need when with another partner, you know what I mean? And with somebody who has the same intentions for the children as you do, you know what I mean? And I think it's imperative, and so that might be the reason why the younger one is a lot different. On top of, he's seeing you in the element as well, you know what I mean? So he gets to see you running a business, and he getting to see your wife work in the business, and he gets to see the benefits and the fruits of your labor too.
And what I don't understand about my son, because I was working like I don't know what when with Fefet, I worked. I recently started working April of last year. My wife said no more working, so I don't go clock in for anyone, except for us. So you seen how hard I hustled, and got make sure that she was okay, like paying $1,800 a month. You get what I'm saying? Not with no help, even if you get what I'm saying. Oh, I'm lying. I did bull or something for money sometimes. But yeah, I had to do what I had to do. Like, I done sold drugs. You get what I'm saying? Like, whatever I had to do to make sure that he was okay and we're okay, and not stealing from anybody. Just make sure that that we're okay. So I don't get, like, how his hustle ain't turned up, because this just, like, in the past six years, I feel like 7 years, life has just gotten, like, really, good. So I don't really understand. Like, I just pray for him.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And keep just guiding them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I
Like,
definitely. I'm not going. Never.
Because I know sometimes it's hard. So sometimes you might want to give up. Where not even just give up, but just like, I can't focus my energy on this. But like, how did you? Because you saying you came from out of clocking in a little over a year ago, or about a year ago.
Yeah, April
So how
1st
did you so what were you doing? Like
phlebotomy.
Okay.
Yep, I was working at LabCorp, and she was like, April the 1st, that's it. That was a part of my birthday gift last year. My birthday is Friday, April the 14th. So yeah, then
How'd you balance that? Because y'all had already had the business, right?
Oh yeah.
How'd you balance having a 9-to-5, being a parent, and stepping into entrepreneurship all at the same time?
I'm organized.
And being a wife.
Yeah, I'm organized as I don't know what. Like between 4 and 5 before she get in, I'm not on the phone with nobody. I'm making her dinner, making the house, dinner. Like I cannot talk to you. I'm real organized.
Oh, that's
and
good.
Like when I say it's like time, like if you say be somewhere at 10 o'clock, I'm probably sitting outside at 9:40. Like everything with me is like time. That's why I need to know. I'm just organized. Organized. I don't know what. And my sisters, it's like a village, because if I can't get them, it's just like all of us. It's like teamwork when I had the job, but now I can, it ain't nothing.
You got the freedom.
Yeah, I got the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and I love it. But flip side, I was a little nervous because I ain't never not worked before. And to give somebody like, even though it's our business, but I just
like
feel like
a little bit of power.
A little bit of power was like, hold up. You get what I'm saying? But I'm smart. You get what I'm saying? So, but it's
so
wonderful.
you entering into the soft life.
Yeah, like 1 year fully in a soft life. I do exactly whatever I want, but mostly it'd be like taking care of them. That's it.
How does that play out in your relationship now?
Wonderful, extra wonderful, and
because you can show up more for people.
And she's extremely spoiled, like dropping mess. Like it's just like I feel like a little Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, but it's good, it's great. But I feel like I've always gave 100%. Being a mother, gave 100% as being a partner too. Because even when I don't feel like it, I'm still going to do it. My weakness is love. It is. Like if I love you, it's like, oh.
That's good.
Yeah.
My weakness is love.
For
I
real,
like that.
No, but that's really the truth. Like if I love you, it'd be like, wow. Like it's been times when I didn't even have to make sure someone else is okay. So it's just like, yeah. So I think that's.
Do you feel like that serves you now?
Yes, absolutely. Finally, yeah. Because I feel like I gave a lot and I didn't get it back. No, absolutely not. And people be having this perspective of me like she is this and she is that, but I'm really not. And
listen, I was like, she's so strong, she's so hard, she's so dominant, I'm telling you,
I'm really soft.
I think it's your wife though.
Yeah.
I think
that's what everybody say.
I do. I think it's the wife because I feel like over time, and like I know right now we all on this like this whole feminist thing and becoming more feminine and stuff like that. I think as far as women and being strong and very determined, like we do what we have to do. You know what I mean? Especially being a parent.
Yeah,
so
right.
it's like we gonna figure it out. And sometimes it might not even be legal. Like
right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but we're gonna make sure that we provide for our children. But I like how over time that you've developed like this softness to you and it shows up in your family, your relationships and even your children.
Yeah, I still got a little my wife did say like I'm real dominant, but that's because I'm used to leading.
Okay.
Like I'm used to leading, but it's definitely like so like like it's kind. But I feel like I've always been that way if people allow, but some people just bring that out of you. Like, it just bring it out of you. Like, so, but I don't call for all that now. Like, it's just like, sometimes it's too good to be true. I'll be like, God, please.
Like it's too good to be
like
true.
it just be like, ooh, even when it's like bad days, it's not always good. We argue. We don't get along. We two women. We two alright. We come on our menstrual, you know what I'm saying? And children give you problems when they doing bad. Like the police just came to my house for my youngest son.
The baby?
Because we was in Atlanta and he posted like a BB gun and sent it to his friend.
Oh, okay.
So in our neighborhood, they just don't be with all of that.
Okay.
So yeah. So they came. I was like, "Do you have a gun in here?" And I was like, "T-Sean." And the only thing he worried about was who snitched on him. So it's just like that's why I say boys are really like
it's always something with them.
You have to stand up for them, like stand up. Yeah. So
And our black sons, I feel like right now, like I went through some things with a girl, and then mind you, my son is in Portland, Oregon. So it's not as black as you think. You know what I mean? But he had a girlfriend, and the issue with the girlfriend, she's younger than him.
Okay.
He wasn't 18 yet, but it's a in some states you still can be considered statutory rape if you're a certain amount of years older than the other person. And so I think he literally missed it by like 3 months.
God,
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, it's small stuff, that little nuances that the children don't really understand, how it can be detrimental to their future. It can be detrimental to the family. And so that's another thing that I'm teaching my children right now, is the decisions that you make and how they affect everybody else. And so even with like my daughter, she got suspended from school. So what I'm saying is, you getting suspended from school now, it changes my day. So now I have to take the boys this way. I have to do this. Now I have to go here. Then I have to stop what I'm doing. Now I can't work. I can't do school. I have to go and tend to and sit and talk to you. You know what I mean? And so even though that's very small, I think what the children that we need to instill is that these small decisions that they make, they can have like detrimental like consequences that come behind them. So like, just to like kind of put a little bow on it, I want you to, I really want, and I enjoy like even hearing things that I never even heard about you before, like, you know what I mean? And then just watching you transition from a distance, because I think we probably just recently like reconnected on social media after a couple years, but just watching the transition, I really like, it's admirable, you know what I mean, to watch people grow and to watch women grow, because I've always seen you, like I said, to be strong, always, you know what I mean? And so now to see this like soft side of you, it's like, it's a little glow to it too, like your skin even look different, like, you know what I mean?
I stopped eating meat.
Really?
But I did it because I had lipo. And then I liked it, so I just don't do it no more.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Like, even with my menstrual, it's better. Like, it's just, that's a whole life change. But I always drink water, but
okay, so
I
the
like
no
it
meat
real
thing.
bad.
Listen, so my
I
twins
like it
are
real
vegan,
bad.
right? So the babies are vegan. And so I wanted to try something new, and I felt like eventually I come around. So right now I still need to cut out chicken and turkey. That's my
I love chicken.
chicken. Oh my God, it's
They
like
got oysters. You can just fry it up and just do something. But yeah.
So
And
you
I
do
just-
eat seafood?
No.
Oh, you don't eat. So okay.
I never ate seafood. though.
Okay, so you don't eat no meat at all. Okay.
And I like it real bad.
You can tell
I
in your
love
skin. I'm
it.
telling you, you really can tell in your skin.
I love it real bad. So yeah, I don't think I'm going back.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. I'm gonna get a little better with that. I'm gonna get a little better with that. So just to wrap it up, like everything that we kind of talked about, I really want you to like speak to the woman entrepreneur out there that's really like, she's really struggling, whether it's in her marriage or whether it's in her parenting, because sometimes when our children act out, like it affects our self-esteem as a mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what did I do wrong?
Yes.
Where did I fail? Maybe I should have did
That
this
sound
a
like me,
different way. And, you know, we often feel that way when it comes to our children. So like, what would you tell that woman right now that's in that position?
Be strong. Don't give up. Pray real hard if that's whoever your higher power is, and just don't give up, because it's only, it's always it's a tunnel, and you're gonna reach the end of the tunnel. I'm telling you, but just don't give up, and just remain calm, and just understand it's light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I'm telling you, because it's not easy, but it gets way better in time. You just really have to just be calm, try to be calm. And I pray about everything.
That's good.
Like, I pray walking over here like, Lord, don't let me, my vocabulary, let me read this book, let me make sure I got the right words, and I still ended up being nervous.
No, I just want you to be super comfortable. Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying too. I feel like a lot of these, like for me, I watch podcasts all the time. Like, I really don't listen to music anymore, and I'm a music lover. Like, my children are musicians. Like, I'm a music lover, but I really started listening to a lot of podcasts, and I felt like I wanted to tap into a space that was real and raw, because everything is super polished, even with social media.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to find people that are very authentic, and that you can genuinely relate to, because sometimes they'll say things and it's like, oh, I got to be a part of this woman's tribe. Yeah. But then when you get into it, it's like they trying to cover and mask all the stuff that makes me like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the stuff. Like for me, for me, it's like my accent is super thick. Like when I live in another state now, and they always know I'm from Baltimore. Always. I mean, I'm at. Mind you, I'm at Wendy's getting some nuggets.
Yeah.
So I'm at Wendy's and I'm ordering, and she comes straight to the window like, you from Baltimore, aren't you? And so it used to play on my self-esteem. Like, it used to make me feel like I don't talk right. I'll never be like this person. I'll never be like that. And so I really wanted a space that opened up people to be able to be themselves, and still they understand that they on a trajectory to be something great.
Yeah.
So I thank you.
And thank you for having me.
I thank you for opening up and letting us invade your privacy.
Yes, too much. It's all good.
All right. So thanks for tapping into another episode of Invasion of PRVCY Podcast. We thank you for tapping in. And if you want to connect with Tiara in any way possible, her information will be in the show notes. And